Well, it's starting out to be a really busy day. I went to work around 6, started doing some cleaning up some more. The light died last night, so I couldn't see very well. There's a few more spots, and I'll have to hit those again. Let's see. One of the guys, his truck is having problems, so he's getting a ride down. And he didn't give the other guys a couple things that they need, so I'm doing that. Going home, getting chalk line, drill bit, stuff like that, and then I gotta go get bolts. And it's gonna be one of those days. I just have that feeling. She said. Okay, well, today's one of those continuing days, I guess. The tile guy showed up, and I guess he was under the impression, or whatever, that the tile and everything was going to be right there, thin set, everything all ready for him, so he didn't have to do anything. And I said, sorry, it's not happening today. Well, how come? I said, hey, I can't run around making people do things, holding a gun to their head, so this is how it is. You can either lug them, or you can come back when I can get it done. When's that? I said, I don't know. Again, I can't run around making people do things. I can tell them that I need it done, but after that, that's how it goes. So then I went and tried to find some, I need some 5/8 carriage bolts. And the carriage bolts, one place, they had a few 1/2 inch, but that was it. So now I'm gonna go see if I can find, and God only knows what those are gonna cost. So it's shaping up to be a banner day. Somewhere beyond this crimson sky is where we wanna be. Okay, second place was a strikeout, so now off to the third place, and then I'm gonna have to decide how much they are, and we'll see. Okay, well, at least a positive note today. I went to Byron's and I got they had the 5/8 carriage bolts that I needed. They didn't have the drill bit, so I got a 3/4. It'll work. It's a little bit bigger than the 5/8, but it'll work. That's the joist. So back up, drop all that. Then the forklift's supposed to be coming. I'm supposed to have paint delivered. I haven't heard from him yet. Like I said, it's just gonna be one of those days. Did I mention to you that it's only 9:30 in the morning? Somewhere above the clouds at night, just you and me. Don't know how to get there, but we can disappear. We don't need to breathe in this air. We'll be oh so far from here. Don't know how to get there, but we can disappear. Well, we're having a lull in the activity today. Yes, the roof is blowing. I had to go home. Didn't have a whole lot to eat yesterday, and I haven't had anything today, so I'm a little hungry and I need some food and some water. We'll find a place where the lights will make us come alive. Though we're lost in space, I know we'll be alright. So just drive. Okay, in the usual. I was told that the order of paint, etc., was already cleared customs, all set to go, just the shipper had to pick it up. Great, wonderful. So I see the trucker. He says, no, it hasn't cleared. You have to go see her, make sure it's cleared. So meanwhile, I got like 4 painters with nothing to do. So I just went in there and said, okay, can you get that cleared so he can take it and bring it over to the job? Because I got 4 painters with no paint and nothing to do. So she said, oh yeah. So I just talked to the trucker, and we're gonna get that delivered hopefully this afternoon before it's the end of the day and they don't need paint anymore. What a fun day.
And don't think twice, no. Just drive into the night.
Salad. Everybody makes theirs different, but this will be mine. In my potato salad, I always add this Italian wishbone salad dressing to the hot potatoes so that they can kind of get a little marinade, add a little bit of flavor. And the other reason why I'm making this is I need to empty out my refrigerator a little bit because after I leave at the end of this month, those olives and that celery are going to sit in the refrigerator until I return. So Todd usually doesn't have enough time or energy to be creative in the kitchen all summer long, so he just throws something on the grill and picks, but it's not going to be celery or olives. Doesn't that look good? I added 3 hard-boiled eggs, 4 slices of bacon. You saw the red onion and the olives and the celery and the potatoes with a little, what's it called, Old Bay seasoning, because that's like celery salt kind of flavor. And then for my dressing, it's going to be that 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, a tablespoon of milk, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and some pepper. Mix that all together and toss it on top. Ta-da! All done. Should be really yummy by dinner.
So today was just one of those really crazy days, and the afternoon was no different. I had a tractor trailer brought paint and some tiles. I was on a time frame. The tiles were supposed to go in a certain place. They didn't go in the place they were supposed to. I put them in a secure place. I'll deal with that later. The paint, one of the pallets was loose, put them in the truck. A couple of them fell off, a couple of them broke. Not bad, thank goodness. And then I had another forklift, which they of course showed up at the same time. 2 forklifts. I needed a forklift. Got 2 of them. One of them moved some other tile I needed out of the way and some lumber, and moved some of that to another location, that tile, on one of the other buildings that I had to do. And it was just watching and getting everything all done. So today was just like one of those way too much fun days. But that's how, when people say, well, why, you have to account for all of this because it's going to happen here. So when you're doing a project here, you have to expect these things. Running around, getting different things, having all of this, and all of that has a cost involved in it. So when you're doing a project here, you have to understand these are things that are going to happen and that it's going to be added to the cost of your project. You can't just go to one place. There's no Home Depot and get 8-inch, 5/8 galvanized bolts or whatever. You end up going to different places, finding different things. Like one place I got the nails, one thing I got the bolts, but I went to 3 places to do that. You can't just rely on one set of things. So you've got to be constantly figuring, juggling. This is how it is. So the construction aspect here is a whole different thing than when you're dealing with it in the US. It's just a whole different thing. I mean, it's construction, sure, but I can't tell you how different it is. We don't have to do any of the stuff that you have to do there, and there's always something. Masons doing certain things, painters doing certain things. Now they'll be doing painting solely because now I've got my 72 5-gallon buckets of paint. Yay. And carpenters is doing certain things. So it's juggling all of them, making sure everything they're getting done. I had to build a beam, a big 6x12 beam that was like a laminated beam. Glued that all together with plywood in between so it has a directional stability. Put the bolts in. That's all done. Just one of those days. Just one of those days where just too much fun. Done for today.